After a long time in the entrepreneurial world, I understood that there are three ways to make a lot of money. The third one I'm gonna tell you today, it's probably the smartest one, especially in the 21st century. Because back then things changed a lot. If you look at the curve of innovation, how many things got created in the last 20 to 30 to 50 years, it's just impressive. The speed, the velocity of growth of innovation. Imagine that now AI is talking about giving us innovations for itself. It means that the AI is gonna be in 6 to 12 months, the top-notch industry Spock leaders say, is gonna basically be so able to think and to do reasoning that's gonna be able to give us innovations, which means that the phone was innovated and created and invented by humans. Now imagine if an AI could give you new invention. Isn't that crazy? That's why the third thing I'm going to tell you today is going to be the most powerful. But before that, let's jump into the first two. Majority of people think that to make a lot of money, they need to reinvent the wheel. We basically get our head flooded with the idea of these Silicon Valley tycoons that invent things and they build a new Airbnb and they launch this AI, open AI company. And we get fed by these big players that we, to become millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires, whatever we want to do, we should be inventing something. So the point number one of how you can make a lot of money is to invent something that is not in the marketplace. So you have to come up with a big idea, you have to be able to develop it, and you have to be able to sustain a long period of time where you put money in, you put effort in, you put energy in, you don't get out anything, but one day everything is going to pay off. So basically you sacrifice something today to create in the future big money, because maybe you sell the company, you get a big exit, or maybe you just build something unbelievable which is going to pay you forever, ever and ever. So the first point includes the fact that you definitely do reinvent the wheel. You are the one who catches a big new wave, or maybe you create a space in the marketplace, you create something new, you basically disrupt something, so you become an inventor. You are basically doing prophecies about the future, you're finding a space, you're finding a hole in the marketplace, and you're filling it. So the point number one is, if you want to make a lot of money, you need to invent something. And this used to work a lot in the past, but now it's harder and harder. I don't know how many of you tried to go on ChatGPT because you have an idea, you want to develop it, and basically you start chatting and asking and giving you a business plan and data and the customer acquisition costs and all these things, and then you're thinking, holy jeez, this is hard. I have to think of the competition. I need to think that now in the globalized world we live in, there are so many people inventing things at the same time, and maybe you invent something in Italy, but it gets copied in another country. 50 years ago, you could invent something less beautiful than some competitor in France, and it was okay because there was not so much globalization, which means the people in Norway couldn't get the products of France. But in today's day and age, if you invent something and in France it's already been invented, even slightly better, or they have better processing factors, they're gonna get into your market and they're gonna stab you in your back as quick as you hear. The point number one, it's a very big thing. It was a very big thing. It's still gonna be a very big thing, but it requires more and more capital, team, structure. It's not easy. The second way you can make a lot of money is to make something that's already working better. So you don't reinvent the wheel, but you catch something that's already been working, that already has a demand, and you improve it. Because maybe you're a technical person in that field and you realize, hey, there's a flow there. Hey, I can improve it. Hey, I understand that the company who's producing this is not able to do this, or they didn't get this. So maybe I create something, I bring it to the marketplace, and I get their market share, their part of people. And this is a very smart thing to do because it doesn't require you to come up with a brand new idea, but it's just to improve something. Of course, then you need to realize that, hey, you're trying to steal the market share of this big company that maybe has been around for 20 to 30 years, that has a lot of experience, a lot of capital, a lot of, headquarters and experience, whatever they have, and you want to try starting from scratch to get to their level. You know, most probably what's going to happen, that you don't have enough capital, time, and team. They're going to see what you're doing. They're either going to just buy it from cheap price, or they're gonna copy that and do it themselves. So I'm not saying that this is something you should not do, but I want you to think that this is a possible way to make money. There's plenty of ideas around this field that you can apply, but it's hard. So the point number one is you reinvent the wheel. You create something out of nothing. I'm sure you know a lot of people who build startups, and if you talk to them, 99.9% of these people fail miserably. Of course, they get a lot of knowledge. Of course, they understand a lot of things and they grow a lot, but they fail because it's so hard to invent something new. And today's day and age is going to be harder and harder because you're competing not even with human beings anymore, not even with big companies, but you're competing with the AI feeding the big companies. The second thing is to improve something that's already existing and it's already working. Good, amazing, hard. The third point to make a lot of money, especially in today's day and age, it's not to invent, it's not to improve, it is to brand something better. It's the branding part. There are $1 million products, $1 million businesses in your fridge that they're good products, they work amazingly, they kind of have a demand, they're known, but maybe they have no brand. For example, there is an amazing person I admire, which is called Jesse Itzler. He's a billionaire, and he says, hey, I was looking at the pickles in my fridge, and I realized that everyone knows pickles, but there is no big branding around pickles. So he did that. He scaled it heavily. So every one of us know amazing things that they work. You're like, hey, I don't know, this thing really works. It's really good. It's tasty. It's amazing. People kind of know it. But if I have to think of a brand, or if I have to think of the market share this thing has, it's not so much. It's not so big. So branding and marketing are going to be the easiest way for you not to create anything, not to come up with an idea, where you do not need to pour in a lot of capital, where you do not need to have a big team, but you need to know how to market things. You need to know how to get attention and bring people to the product. You need to know how the human brain works. It doesn't require you capital, team, experience. It requires a head which is functioning very well and the ability to attract people onto something, which, if you think of it, that's what everyone is doing in today's day and age. They're talking, they're branding, they're building on social media. So what's your ability to get people's attention? What's your ability to get into people's head, to hook them up? What is your ability to gather people together? What is your ability to take something that's already been working for a long time and bring it to the marketplace? Because if you think it's the safest way for you to make money, and if you can do it with big companies or big products, of course they're gonna give you a percentage. So that's the easiest way, more scalable way to make money. Oftentimes because you don't even have to spend your own money to market. So imagine if you can find something that has a hole in the marketplace, which means it's kind of needed, but someone has already invented it, but maybe they don't know how to scale. And you know how to bring revenue to these people, to this company. You know how to bring attention onto these products and services. Imagine if you don't have to reinvent the wheel with all the pain of, hey, is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Maybe I should scale, maybe I should not. I don't know how to do everything. You just have to brand it. You don't even have to improve it. You just have to brand it. Learn the skills of communication, social media, shooting content, AI, learn the concepts of marketing, understand human psychology, because these things in 21st century are gonna pay you so much money, because especially in such a competitive space where everyone is trying to sell the products, you don't invent anything new, just become best at getting the most attention. Where everyone is fighting, you need to stand up. As a human being, as a person, if you're doing it personally, like I'm trying to do, with my personal brand, as a company or for a company, become a marketer, become a branding expert, become someone who knows how to stand out. And the way you do it is you start thinking of yourself. Am I standing out with my thoughts? Am I becoming different than the mass? Am I looking for different things? Am I special? In such an average world, being weird is the best thing you can do for yourself, for your brain, and for your future. Hey guys, if you love this content, please consider subscribing to the channel, because I need to push this content out there. I need to get myself known, because I know for a fact these concepts can help people, because there's so many people out there thinking, what products should I invent? Hey, maybe I build a startup, a company. I'm not saying you shouldn't do, because maybe you're gonna be the next billion-dollar brand, but most probably you're gonna fail. And I don't say this to discourage you. I just tell you that the best way to start is through branding and marketing, and not having to invent anything, but just learning the skills of sales, communication, marketing, putting people in contact with something, okay? And furthermore, drop me a comment here if you want any other content on this channel, because I'm ready to shoot a lot of it.